to your moms, Lauren. How are you?
Good. How are you, Nat?
Nobody says word up anymore,
Are you
but I'd
okay?
like to bring it back.
It's going to be like in that movie Mean Girls, like you can't bring, what's the word? Fetch?
Oh, they couldn't bring
The
it
word
back.
that
I don't remember Mean Girls.
that girl, yeah, they're like, I'm trying to bring fetch or something like that. There was like a word that one of the Mean Girls wanted to bring and make cool again, and everyone's like, no.
Do you know the story behind Mean Girls and why it's such an important movie in my life?
Why?
Because after I had my IVF transfer, you have
Uh-huh.
like a few days where like you just have to get through until somebody
Uh-huh.
tells you if these little embryos stuck or not. And I remember that I went to go see the movie Mean Girls with my sister. And
Okay.
I was like really trying to distract myself. It was a day off. It was a weekday though. So she left work early. I don't know why I wasn't working, but whatever. I was probably just took a few days off from trying not
Yeah.
to knock embryos out of my uterus, even though clearly we
Smart.
now know that's not a thing, but I was paranoid. So
Yeah.
somehow I made it to Kips Bay in that movie theater that's still there, the AMC.
Uh-huh.
And I saw Mean Girls and I got a call from the IVF clinic. And it
Ooh.
wasn't, not mentioning any names. I know that she doesn't work there anymore, but I, of course, classic Nat, I made friends with everybody in my office. So
Really you?
before, yeah, who knew? Like, figure that one out. So the girl from the office called to tell me that I
You're
was
pregnant.
pregnant, even before the doctors told me. So she called me, she's
Ah,
like, you can't tell anybody. But I remember, like, I answered the phone, I'm like, hello, like in the movie theater. And
yeah.
she's like, Nat, she's like, your blood work came back. And she's like, you're definitely pregnant. And I'm like, what? And I ran out of the movie. I'm pretty sure I stood up and I yelled to the whole movie theater that I'm
I'm
pregnant.
pregnant.
And then I ran out and I left the whole building. Like I left the movie theater and I left my purse and everything inside.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I couldn't believe. Well, after 5 years of hearing to negative, not this month. We'll try again. We'll try this.
That sucks.
So literally 5 years in a row of negativity for the first phone call that was like, you're pregnant. And then not even to know that, of course, a pregnancy is going to change you. But
Yeah.
holy moly
The twins.
guacamole, did a pregnancy change me? Look
Uh-huh.
at my world. Look at the
Yep.
world that we have created.
Yep.
So that's my
Crazy.
story with Mean Girls. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know
Look at
that, but
that.
I'd like to bring that back. Although I was talking when we went to the other day, I was once again on the island of Long, or maybe I was in Queens, I don't remember, but I went to a Lowe's and I was with Monica. And I said to the person, hey, Holmes, could you get this for me? Or something like that. Or, oh, thank you, home girl. And then
Yeah.
Monica's like, people don't say that. And
Yeah.
so I was like, Monica, she
But
knows
we
what I'm
say
talking
it.
about. The
We
girl
say
had
it in
no
our
idea what I was
circle.
talking about, by the way. The girl, the nice girl at Lowe's who made me some paint had literally never heard home girl before. What
That's
happened?
weird.
Yeah, no, thank you, I said to her.
Sometimes that makes me feel old when I say things with my clients who are younger and they don't understand what I'm talking about. And I'm like, don't you know about like I reference like a movie or a show and they just look at me like, what are you
Yeah,
talking about, you old
yeah.
ancient lady?
And had to walk up a hill both ways in the snow to
Barefoot.
school. Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, Betty's going to take a nap. Excuse
She's
her.
heard enough.
She's had enough of this. Okay, are you ready for today's guest? Do you want to know the backstory?
Yes.
All right, listen to me now. Her name is Lily. She's from the borough of Queens. And
Ooh.
anytime my husband ever meets somebody that's from Queens and they'll be like, I'm from Queens, he, without fail, God bless him, always says, really? I'm from normal parents. Lauren, I don't know why this man says that.
Of
He
course he
says it,
does.
he says it every time, but it's
That's
not even
hilarious.
funny. I don't even know why I'm laughing now. It's so stupid, but I love that man. Anyway, Lil, which we're going to call her, she could hang with us. She would fit in so easily to our circle. You have no idea. And this is another podcast where clearly you could tell that it went from like an educational podcast where I'm going to learn things to
Mhm.
just being like a BS session where we just talk about
Nice.
everything.
I like that.
I love her so much. And I can't wait to meet her in person because we're actually going to set a date and we're actually going to meet in
Yes.
person because we can. But she's so wonderful and she's so sweet and she's a new twin mommy. And she was so
Aw.
excited to get away from the twinnies. She was like taping it in like a coffee shop. And you could see, like, when
Oh,
you go watch the video on YouTube, you'll
like
see
people.
that people behind her are like, why? Like, you're on a Zoom? Like, what's happening here? They're confused faces. She couldn't see it because they were behind her. I did. I was trying not to react, but it was very entertaining.
That's funny.
But she's so great. And it's just her trials and tribulations and her experience with motherhood and her journey to motherhood.
Yep.
And she met her hubs during the pandemic. And it's just like a fast paced love story that ended
Ah,
up with twinnies. And it's like an episode where you're going to finish listening and you're going to feel good.
nice. I
Oh,
love
I
that.
love her so much. I can't wait for you to meet her. Are you ready to listen? Because it's so good. I can't
Yes.
wait for you to wait. Okay, here she goes. Guys, here's Lili. Good morning, Miss Lili.
Good morning, Natalie.
Lili, did you escape your insane asylum that is your household for a random coffee shop for our
I
interview
really,
this
really
morning?
did. Yes, I really did. It is such a gorgeous day, and
Is it
I
really?
managed to
I haven't
escape.
looked out the
It is.
window yet.
It's
Okay,
like
good.
perfect out, and I managed to escape the asylum.
Oh,
The
how old are the
kids are
puppies
asleep.
now?
They are 8.5 months.
Oh, they're tiny
Yeah,
still.
they're tiny, but they're not so tiny.
Oh my God, they're getting so big. All right, Lili,
They're
here
getting
is
big.
what I want to discuss today, right?
Yes, tell me.
Whenever we have so many people that are in like the pregnancy groups and they're like, this is what it's going to be like. And then sometimes people have illusions or delusions, depending on how you look at it, of what twin life is going to be like.
Hmm.
And I always find it really fascinating when people are like, I thought it was going to be like this. And then it's not. So I want to know what your perception versus reality is when it comes to living a real life with twinnies.
Well, it's funny because my perception, if I really think about it and I'm honest about it, it's actually that I had no idea what to expect because I was still in like my ideas of what motherhood and what life with a child would be like, always, my entire life involved one child. So when all of a sudden there was going to be two, I had no perception other than absolute terror, absolute every, like dream or whatever you want to call it, fantasy, just bubbles bursting everywhere. And more than anything, it was not what it was going to look like, but how it was going to happen. All I could imagine was like chaos and juggling and not understanding how to split myself, so to
Yeah.
speak.
But did that happen because people were giving you like, oh, double trouble, better you than me? How are you going to do it? Blah, blah, blah. Right. Was it the world that was like on one shoulder that was like, this is going to be a poop show? And then on the other shoulder, you're like, it's going to be okay. I have no choice. Where do you think that the influence came in? Was it just your own general, I don't
I
even
think
know
it
to
may,
parent one, and now I have two?
I think it's a little bit of all of it. The world of the like double trouble, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
that was there, but I was included in that course because that was my percent. I
Yeah.
knew one set of twins growing up. I have one couple friends who have now 3-year-old twins, but that's it. I didn't have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
So I was the world and
Yeah.
that same
I don't think
course as
many of
well.
us do. I think even for the people, and you'll hear it in other interviews that I've done on this pod, like we've had people who have been like are a twin and then had twins and they still weren't ready. So I don't
Right.
think that there really is an
There isn't.
ever a possibility of even possibly being ready with twinnies.
My mom, who now, so part of the reason why I only ever imagined one was because I'm a one. I'm an only child. And I'm an only child to divorced parents who never really had any. My dad had one very long-term relationship, but neither of my parents ever got remarried. It was a very kind of independent, singular life that I lived. So I, in turn, was like, well, that's what I know. My husband, on the other hand, is one of three. So what did he want? He wanted three because that's what he knows. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Yes.
So what I found was my mom and I, who were very close, when we found out after the initial shock wore off and it turned into like existential dread, she said to me, this is a woman who my whole life has looked at me and gone, Lily, you got a lot of rules about a lot of things. Because I do. Type A, control freak. It's part of why I responded to your book as much as I did. But what she said to me was, you have to become a willow tree. You have to learn to bend, not break. And that became my mantra a little bit. So whenever the world was on my shoulder doing the, double trouble, the this, that, and this, how are you going to manage it? I just kind of started to try to get myself into this mind frame of, I don't know what it is, and that's okay. And I'm just going to have to deal with things as they come. And I guess I don't maybe give myself enough credit for the fact that I've been doing that, because a lot of people keep being like, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing this. And I'm like, I just am.
Yeah. Twin
Because
parents
you
in
just
general, we don't give ourselves
gotta.
enough credit because you're too in the eye of the storm to realize that you're doing it, but you are doing it. So when everybody, like for all the moms that are out there listening now, if you feel like you're failing, you're actually doing a good job because you're so busy that you don't have time to sit back and pat yourself on the back.
Exactly.
So as long as you just keep going, you just got to keep moving. A la
Just
your
keep
mama,
moving.
just bend, don't break. I love your mother.
Me too. You
Good
would like her.
advice.
She's great. She's
Good
really,
advice.
she's quite something, that one. But she did. And that really, it did. It became my mantra. And that started to help me through. I didn't, being completely honest, I did not enjoy my pregnancy physically or emotionally.
Okay.
I was really stressed out and I was really freaked out. And I was also kind of having the like existential crisis of, I'm never going to have what I dreamt of having my whole life. And that all was going on during the pregnancy. So I think I was more wrapped up in that than the, what am I going to do with two? Okay. And that started to come later. And as that started to come, they came 9 weeks early.
So wait, when you said that you had like a mourning period that your life wasn't going to be, what did you want it to be like?
I wanted one child. I wanted this little like family unit of three. Quick little backstory. My husband and I have been together for a little over 5 years. We started dating the middle of February of 2020. And so
that's a baptism by fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was, we're like, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That'll be fine. We'll just like go on walking dates and blah, blah, blah. And then, so we had been together for a while. We knew it pretty early on because it was baptism by fire.
Yeah.
But we didn't get engaged until March the 1st of last year. On March the 12th, I found out I was pregnant.
I was going to say, doing some quick math.
Yeah. So that started my life is not going to look like what I thought it was going to look like. It went there. I was out of town when I found out.
Wow.
And I was out of town for a little while. So we got about a week of being engaged happily with, not a care in the world.
So when did you find out it was twinnies? If you found out.
I was 8 to 10 weeks, somewhere in there. I had my first appointment where there was one. And when I came back from where I was, and then after that one, it was like, everything looks great. I'll see you for a heartbeat check in X amount of weeks, whatever it was. And the X amount of weeks was the day after my 40th birthday party, in which I told my husband not to come to the appointment because I was like, you drank for me last night. You're still drunk. You just sleep. I'll be back in an hour. I'm just going to get a little,
A little
wand.
wanding.
I got a little wand. I mean, and I was at that point, first
Ugh.
trimester hit me like a ton of bricks and I couldn't function. If I had already felt like that before we had planned my party, I wouldn't have planned a party. It was excruciating. I felt like garbage. I couldn't get up in the morning and like go sit at the computer and do 30 minutes of work on it. And I told her that when I saw her. And then she went in there and went, huh. And she like just cocked her head and went, huh. And I went, oh, nothing. Literally nothing. There was nowhere in my head that would have thought or even entertained the idea that the was turning into there's too. Couldn't have conceived it in any way. No pun intended. My face went, and she went, no, everything's okay. Everything's okay. And as she turned the screen around, she went, there's two of them. And I just went, what the F? And I burst into tears.
No.
And also they both, and funny enough, from that moment forward, this is who they are. It was so clear they were as far away from each other in my uterus as you could get. Like fully, everybody go to your corners. And I FaceTimed my husband and was like, hi, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, so that was the start. So that was maybe 5 or 6 weeks after we got engaged.
Wow.
So that just became that rapid fire of like the snowball running down the hill of life it is 180 different from what you fantasized it was.
Were you
be.
at least living together before the engagement and stuff like that? Okay,
yes,
good.
Exactly.
All right. Wasn't sure like how traditional we're going because I'm like, that's a lot to like now. And did you guys plan a move? Like, were you planning anything big? Like, what did you change your wedding plans? Are you like,
no,
we
didn't even have wedding plans. We were just, because I was very into like, no, we'll maybe get, like, I always wanted to get married in the fall and we were engaged in March. And I was like, I don't see myself being able to like get it together by this fall. So maybe I'll do next fall, but just let's go travel. Let's go like take some trips.
There you go. That's it. Some trips around the neighborhood. Some trips to the ultrasound
Benjamin
clinics.
and Henry had other plans. Yes. And that's the thing is what I've learned very quickly is that, especially in hindsight, when I look at all of it, is that they came to make us get our heads out of our own. So every time we have attempted to do something for us, they're like, no, this is for us. So then eventually we got married legally. We wanted to just, have the civil ceremony basically before they were born. And we couldn't go to City Hall because our family all wanted to be there and there were too many people. Yes. So we went guerrilla style in Central Park, just to like a quick little, what have you, a friend of mine who's ordained. And that was a Friday. And then a Saturday, I caught a little bit of blood, which was the first thing that had been a complication my entire stress. Even when you're like, okay to be spotting, I didn't spot. Like I had a completely uncomplicated pregnancy, besides the fact that I had what they kept saying may resolve placenta previa. And so I found a little bit of blood on Saturday. My doctor sent me to the hospital. And really long story short, they came via emergency C-section late Sunday night, early Monday morning.
Stop it. You can't have any life events. You need to literally stop with the parties. Just no more.
Anything.
It's just done.
Literally.
Okay, no more engagement parties, no more birthday parties, nothing.
We got to triage and the nurse was like, how long have you guys been married? We're like, 24 hours.
Oh my God, Lily. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So
okay.
So again, bend, don't break.
Oh my God.
Blow.
You've been doing it. That's hilarious. My kids have had some like medical events on holidays, and there was many years that I was like, we just need to stop celebrating holidays. Like, it's just too much for me. Like, Easter's not a thing anymore. Could we just not? And still to this day, 20 years later, I'm still like shell shocked. Like, I still get stressed out when Easter comes around. I don't know why. And now, so for your wedding anniversary, it's the kid's birthday. You're going to have like, there's too many things happening. We have to
We
do
decided
half
no.
birthdays. You're not even going to celebrate your anniversary anymore. That's it. That's
No,
gone.
we're keeping our original, like, we're not married yet, dating anniversary.
Okay.
We're keeping that until
Good.
we have a wedding,
Okay.
like a big, because of all the things I wanted in my life that I knew 100% without a doubt that I wanted was a wedding. What has not happened? A wedding.
You'll have a wedding. I was 10 at my parents' wedding because my mother, like you, wanted to have a real wedding. And I remember like the week before they got married I was in school and I was like, my parents are getting married next week and I'm doing a reading in church. So truthfully, why? Now I remember my mom wanted to get married in church. They had gotten married. It was a civil service, like boring everything because he was married before. And so what had to happen is they had to wait for her to pass away. So then he could be a widow to get married in church because welcome to old school Italian world.
There you
So
go.
you can't get married in church, which I now as an adult, I'm like, really? Guys, really? You made them wait 10 years when all this woman wanted was a church wedding? So then your kids will have that. They'll be
Yeah.
the ring bearers. It'll be wonderful.
I already have it in my head. And now that they're here, you know, and they're such little guys that are so funny, I can see them in it.
Yes.
Listen, I've gone from the person who is so terrified, didn't know how to have one baby, let alone two, to I'm obsessed with my children.
I could imagine. They're your tiny people. So wait, are you still disappointed that it's two? Or do you want to leave one at the firehouse or we're okay with
I have my
the
moments.
double now?
I have my moment.
All right.
But yeah,
You're gonna
of
have those
course.
forever. I don't think that ends.
Exactly. I don't, yeah, you know, I will say that once your book left me because it ended.
I'm sorry. I'll make us a first year one. I'll do anything for you, Lil. I'm sorry.
I did, you know, it's funny. I found why Facebook was still a part of my life outside of Marketplace. And it was to join twin mom groups.
Yep. Truth.
And just reading things that people post make me feel so seen, make me feel so much less alone. And I see things on there that I'm like, did I write this? Was I on drugs or something? And I wrote this and I don't remember.
We're all living identical lives. It's just the change of location and maybe economics, change of location, some few cultural differences. But at the end of the day, we're two babies, one parent. Good luck. What do you think out of everything that's happened over the last 8 months? What do you think you found surprisingly easy? Right. So if you were so worried, like everybody gets so stressed during pregnancy, it's going to be a poop show. Everything's going to be chaos. What is one thing that you're like, that wasn't that bad? Why did I stress about that the whole time? What is that one piece for you? Is it feeding? Is it sleeping? Is it playtime? Is it getting outside? Is it travel? What is the one thing that you think that you've been surprised that you've handled something so well?
I think I've been surprised at how I've handled the meltdowns. I'm a very emotional person. Like I got the big feelings. And one of my boys definitely has my big feelings as well. But my ability to handle the meltdowns and my patience. I have never had patience like this in my life. And it just happened. I didn't work on it. It just came. And when I stop and I think about it, it blows me away. I've never been good at meditating. I've tried. It's not my thing. But yesterday was one of those days. And I found myself at certain points just kind of breathing intentionally. And I caught myself doing it. And then I realized, oh, I do this a lot. And I was like,
you're an accidental meditator. You didn't even know.
And it's just because I have to.
You do.
That's really probably been the most surprising. I'm so much of this. I was also very surprised and blindsided by how insanely intense the postpartum period is. And the things that you feel that nobody really talks about openly until you've experienced it. And then you have hands reaching out under the table to hold you. That I was incredibly
what is that
by,
what was that piece like? What was that moment when you were like, we got to talk about this more? What do you wish that you had a heads up about?
How much you can hate it.
Truth.
And that's totally normal and okay. how split you feel inside between old identity versus the new identity that's blossoming. It's not here yet, but
Yep.
it's figuring itself out. You're basically going back through your childhood and
Yep.
you're forming your identity again, but as an adult, but you didn't realize that it was going to involve so many hormones, little people crying that you're trying to keep alive, maintaining your partnership and trying to be healthy about that, trying to literally be healthy and take care of yourself, trying to brush your teeth and sleep.
Yep.
And that split between the, I hate this so much. Why did I do this? Why did I make a huge mistake? Was this not for me? To the mourning of your past, mourning of your past life, to the times where you're like, oh, men are useless, and to this whole community of moms, and to the, oh, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out who I was and feel good about it and feel solid in it. And I felt like I found it. And then all of a sudden she was gone.
See, that's where you
and I
went
didn't
wrong.
get to
You
spend
waited too
time.
long. See, Lil, so the thing is, this is where people of advanced maternal age, as we're so generously called, right? Geriatric pregnancies. This is where we go wrong because we found ourselves and then you had kids and then you're like, okay, who was that? Like, I just got there. I just got there.
I didn't get to spend enough time with her.
Nope. And she's gone now forever. She'll be back though. I'm going to tell you, she comes back. She makes a comeback after, in about 20 more years. You'll be like, oh, I see her for 2 seconds.
That one. But yeah, those things.
Those don't go away. That's the hard thing too. It's like, if we could just accept that we're going to have moments of absolute dread and regret, it doesn't, I'm not going to say I have a lot of them, but look, with my big kids, they're giant. There's still moments that are like, what did I do? And my husband and I will sit there and we'll be like, why did we complicate things? It was so simple before. We would have had so much money. Literally, we would have been rolling in dough. We would have traveled. We would have seen the world 10 times over. And then he'll be like, but then we wouldn't have had that moment, or we wouldn't have had like all these little stupid things that you're like, but was that really worth it? Was it? I don't know. Like, in hindsight, was it worth it? I have no regrets, as the saying goes, and my kids know that. But now that they're big, sometimes if I'm having a moment, like my daughter was having a moment the other day, and she was like, what to do? And I was like, Banana, I don't know what to do either. And I've never had 20-year-old twins. And I've never had to have a discussion about your new adult relationship. Like, I've never had adult kids. So we're going to work on this on the fly. And it's as long as you continue. I mean, your mother, literally, we're making a statue of her here on Mulberry Street. You got to just keep bending. That's it. And it doesn't change. As long as you're going to stay flexible, you will be okay. You just got to get through this day.
Yes, exactly. And I went through a really tough time in my life, and really, like, I did that, out of the cocoon thing to the girl I didn't spend enough time with. But doing all of that work on myself and on my life, I remember finding those little things of like, today is today, tomorrow is new. There was something I saw once. It meant so much to me then. And boy, oh boy, does it mean more now. You have survived 100% of your bad days. And that always sat with me. And I went, yeah, because you are that strong. Even when it is the worst, when you are at the bottom of the pit of despair, you have no way out. You can't see anything. You can't see your hand in front of your face. You've still survived it.
Yep.
So what makes you think you're not going to survive today?
Truth. You always do. We always do. We don't get a choice. This is it. This is not a dress rehearsal. But,
and it's funny. I see about, I love my boys so much. And I look at them and I'm in awe of them every day. Every day they wake up and their face is a little bit different. They've learned something new overnight, or all of a sudden they're, I'm just like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And I think about what would it be like if I woke up in the morning and there was just one to wake up? Or like most, I don't want to generalize, but most people out there who like have the one and they add the two. And what that experience, like all of them are uniquely difficult.
Truth.
Ours just happens to be a uniquely difficult.
Do you think that if it was one, do you think that it would be baby A? This is a game that I play often as well. If it was, you think it would be baby B? He would have made it through, and then baby A would have just been eaten by baby A.
I think so.
I mean, baby B eaten by baby A. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing the ability to speak.
Baby B was the one we saw first. So that's why I always have the baby B was the singleton.
Yeah.
And then baby A came in and stole the show and needs everything to be his way. He's the driving force.
This is what you have to look forward to. We were talking to the kids yesterday. So we had like a family barbecue. Honestly, it was just the four of us and my daughter's boyfriend. And so they were talking about being a twin. And so I said, like, did you guys tell people? And they're like, we tell everybody. And they said, and then my daughter corrected my son, and she's like, well, technically we tell everybody that we were triplets, but we ate one. And I said, do you really tell that? They really tell that to their friends. But I was like, there was never a chance if there wasn't three of you. Like I had IVF. We only had two embryos. So technically one could have split, but like, I think that's their standard MO. When they tell people, they're like, we're twins. And they're like, you're really twins? And then Anna will be like, well, no, technically we were triplets, but we ate one. And I'm like, that's horrible. And then people are probably really thinking that's the truth. And I was like, I hope they don't like Google you and like find out who your mother is. And this is what they're telling people. But that is, and since they're little, they love being a twin. And anytime, I've definitely mentioned this on a previous podcast, but we were in an elevator, and literally anytime we would be in a crowd, my daughter would be like, we're twins. Nobody asked you, little girl. Nobody asked you anything. Okay, just shut your tiny baby pie hole and just take the elevator ride like everybody else. And here in New York City, sometimes we got to go to like the 50th floor. It's not like we're going to 3. So sometimes we're stuck there. People don't know how to respond because she looks like a tiny little Munchkin Land human, right? She's this tiny, like at that age with this curly red flaming hair. And then she'd be like, we're twins, right? She looked like a character out of a Wallace and Gromit cartoon. I mean, she did not look like a regular human. And all the time, she is so proud of being a twin because she's also the older twin. And she's like a foot and a half shorter than him, and has always been like a micro version of a human in comparison to the giants that are made in my family. But I cannot believe that just now at 20 years old, I'm finding out that this is what they've been telling their peers for 20 years, for their whole life.
Since they basically
middle school. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it. I love that they knew enough at that age.
Well, birth professional, hello. That's what you get. That's that.
So
I can't believe it. So you never know.
It's so funny because I'm still having my moments of,
well, they're babies.
Oh,
you have a lot. They're teens.
Someone's mom.
Yeah.
Forever.
You're waiting for the babysitter to come home, and it never happens. You're still waiting.
And then, like, we used to, when I was pregnant, we would lie in bed and we would just be like kind of silent and looking at the ceiling. And I'd be like, who told us it was okay to have children?
Your baby's yourself. Permission? Your baby's having babies.
Wrote our permission slip. And now we lie in bed and with our head against the wall that shares with their room and go, we have 2 children. We got engaged less than a year and a half ago. Now we have 2 children.
Yes. You went through a dating pandemic. You were bubbled up together. It was literally the baptism by fire. All of my moms that, honestly, I would love to say you're the only one, but so many people met people right before the pandemic. And I always think, like, would that relationship have made it if it wasn't for the pandemic?
We talk about that at least once a month. And have for 5 years. And our consensus every time,
Yep.
Our consensus every time is probably not.
That's too funny. But look where you are.
And it's truly, listen, I'm always someone who is, I believe in the universe and I believe in, things happen for reasons and all of that. And I genuinely, I'm like, this was what this was for us. This is what the universe needed to
So we
happen
blame
for
you.
us.
We blame you for the whole pandemic. Is that
Yes,
what it is?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
good.
that's what I'm
Fair.
saying.
Good.
You're
Because I
welcome.
needed like a spokesperson. So I'm
Yes,
glad we got that
you.
official.
I'll take it. Just like right, throw it on my shoulders. This apartment that we're in, we live in New York as well, out in Queens, and we'd given up our apartments in like the middle of the pandemic, and we bounced around the country and did exploring and stuff like that. But when we came back to New York, we're like, we need a new home. Neither of us expected to end up in Queens and this whole circumstance, but we found this apartment and it's like actually like a good size 2-bedroom apartment.
That's perfect.
And we explicitly were like, we wanted a 2-bedroom because we had spent so much time during the pandemic where we had like some space from each other. We didn't want to jump back to New York and 700 square feet on top of each other. We're like, we need a little bit of breathing room. We are both creatives. We don't have 9-to-5 jobs. So it's not like we're leaving the house and like coming back home and spending minimal time there. So that was our reasoning for the size of the apartment and all of that kind of stuff. We did that and then we look back now and it's like, we got this apartment because we were going to have twins.
There you go.
I mean, truly, because I was due in November. Not that they came in November, but I was due in November and our lease is up November 1st. So when I got pregnant, there was no way, it didn't matter where we lived. There was no way we were moving. Thank God we had the space that we had already. Like that to me, it's just yet another thing that was, this is what was supposed to be. These 2 children were supposed to be my boys. I was supposed to have 2 babies. Listen, my mother, here's another. So after that fateful OB appointment, and I was just frozen in shock. I left the appointment. Dan was frozen in shock, Dan's my husband, and was trying to figure out a way to sober up quickly and head into Manhattan to meet me. I was standing on 72nd Street on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, frozen, not knowing what to do. And I called my mom, of course, first thing after my husband. Honestly, in a way, she could have been first. But she also was the first person to know I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant while I was with her. So I called her while I was frozen on the street. And we were talking for a little while. And she didn't know what to say until she said, Lili, I knew you were going to have twins. And I said, what?
No, thank you.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
What are you talking about? She goes, I had a tarot reading that said you were going to have twins.
What?
I said, excuse me? When was this tarot reading? She said, at the end of March. This was now almost mid-April. And I said, excuse me, why didn't you tell me this? She goes, well, I didn't want to freak you out. And I said, but I don't understand what happened. And she said that during the tarot reading, like she had mentioned that I was pregnant and she pulled something that was like, is she having twins? She was like, no, she's already been to the doctor, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, okay, I saw this thing and said, all right, right. And then later again in the reading, she pulled another thing and was like, I think maybe she might be having twins. Like there's something that keeps coming up in the thing. And I had no idea. So anyway, so
the universe knew it already. Yeah. It was meant to be. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
This is your life. You did it and you're doing it every day, whether you like it or not. Yep. It's too bad. You're stuck here. Now, when you have your next set of twins, it'll be a lot less shocking.
Absolutely.
See?
Absolutely.
That's the spirit now. You're
and
into
then,
it.
Maybe then it's triplets.
No,
because why
then
not add another?
one will eat one. See, you'll just have that.
Exactly.
So then it'll just be
Exactly.
twins again. But the twins twice always, I love when people are expecting twins a second time and they're genuinely shocked. And I'm like, you really? You're really that surprised? I'm not that surprised. I know that after twinning once, the chance of twinning again are not horrible.
Oh, no, not at
Yeah.
all. Which is why I look at my husband, especially right after the babies were born, and I looked at him and I was like, you stay 10 feet away from me, sir.
Amen. Literally, we're going back to pandemic style. That's it. We're going back to
Exactly.
distance. That's it. Distance communication.
You and I
Oh,
just have a stream of pillows in
that's
between us
it.
on the
That's
bed.
the pillow barrier. This is what happened. Oh my God, Lily, I am so happy that I got to hang out with you a little bit this morning. This made my day.
Me too. Thank you.
I
You
love
made
it. And
my
you're
day.
doing
You
so good.
listen, a lot of it, I got to tell you, a lot of it has it started with you
Oh,
because your book, when I found your book, it became my Bible. It's still my Bible. It's sitting at home fully highlighted and flagged.
aw.
But a lot of it too, for me personally, was reading that you did this in New York City and you survived. And not only did you survive, you thrived.
Totally. Still thriving ish. That's it. It's always at the ish.
No, continue to. Like, I think that ish just goes at the end of everything in life at this point.
Truth.
Like, everything's ish. Are you happy? Ish. Yeah. Yeah. For the most part, I am. But you really like that, as dark of a cloud as I couldn't shake for a long time. I knew hope existed because people like you did it and
Aw.
survived and thrived. We left an early pediatrician appointment. I want to say maybe they were 2 months or something like that. And still trying to figure out how to maneuver the stroller, the doors, whatever. And we were leaving and this man walked in with two, I'd say in like 10, 11-ish years old. And they walked in and he wound up helping us with the door and he saw the stroller and he said, twins? And I said, yeah. And he pointed to the kids and he said, twins. And just looked at us and said, you're going to be okay.
Oh, that's
And
what
it
we
literally, that was
need.
it. That was it. And just seeing people like
Yes.
you and people like him and everybody else who came before
Yeah.
and have survived means we can survive
Amen.
and we'll be okay.
True.
And those coming behind us
Yeah.
will survive.
Yes. We are amazing humans and you don't know it in the moment. Right. But I say I
never
work
will.
a lot with singletons too. And I always feel like a weird traitor whenever I'm working with singleton families because there's a piece of me that wants to be like, come on, like we could do this. But then my mantra that I have in my head is everybody's worst is their worst.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think people are really having 6 anymore. The whole 8 thing, thank God, is done. So yeah, I'm glad that's out of the way. But it's whatever eye of the storm you were in, it's always the most dramatic, the most epic, the
Yes.
most like, how are we going to do it? But I do know that it's like having like your doctorate in parenting is what we all get as twin parents, whether we like it or not. We don't get to have the leisure of things that singleton families do. And honestly, like now, I don't think I want it. If I didn't have twins, obviously, I would never be here. I would like Lily. I never was like, I'm going to start a business when I grow up. Never. That was never anything. I just wanted to be a mom. I just wanted to be a mom. And then I put everything into it that I had. And then I don't even know, honestly, I have no idea how I got here. I couldn't even begin to tell you. But that's part of the wonderful adventure is that you just have to breathe into whatever situation you're in and just be like, okay, what's going to happen next? And this is it. I can't wait to see what happens next for you. And I can't wait to see what happens next for the boys. And I'm so excited that you're in driving distance. So now I could stalk you in reality. So when you see me hiding behind the tree at the playground, just pretend I'm not there for a few minutes so that I could spy peacefully. And then I'll jump out and yell surprise or something nice.
That sounds perfect. We'll be at the swing.
All right. Perfect. Oh, both put 2 in 1, I'm hoping. In that easy way.
I haven't tried it yet. They kick each other.
2 in 1. Well, if you have the swings, that have the 4 like feet pieces, you put them back to back. I don't know if you could see the picture right there. So here, back here, let me grab it. That's one of my favorite pictures. It's so fuzzy because it was taken on a Motorola flip phone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, girl, that's how we do
Dead.
it.
I am dead. No, ours, I know those swings. I forgot about those swings. We gotta find our playgrounds just
You
have
gotta
the
find those
single
swings. That's
two.
like twin friendly. And come on,
That's
look at this
those.
giant noggin. Where
I
does
can't-
this kid come from? I mean, and it is this fuzzy, by the way. The camera's not unclear. It's just genuinely an old school flip phone from 1922 that I took a picture on. And it was like, hang on, doll, I have to heat up my flash bulb. When I took that picture. Oh, but you're gonna have so much
Best
fun.
picture.
It gets cuter. That's it. But they were probably around, I don't know, maybe
They
a
look-
yearish. They're a little
They
bit
look
bigger.
about that. Listen, I went from despising all of this truly because, you forget that whole thing with the fourth trimester
Yep.
when you have an adjusted age
Yep.
is not necessarily 3
Yep.
months long. So that 5 months really was just a gut punch. But all of a sudden, they hit that age that's like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with you.
And
You're
we don't
fun.
eat them.
And
Yes. This is why you
Yes.
eat. Oh, you only eat your twin in utero. You don't eat them
exactly,
when
not
you're
once
here.
they're out.
Oh, Lily, thank you so much for playing with me today. And I'm really
Thanks
excited
for
that
asking me too.
that you're a part of our family, whether you like it or not. And for all of
Love
you that are listening, know that like you aren't by yourself. And that's the point. That's the whole reason why I started Twiniversity, is that there's no reason for anybody to ever feel alone, no matter
No.
where you are on this planet. That's it. Other planets I have not connected with yet. The Wi-Fi doesn't reach, but I am sure that when we start communicating with other planets and we find whatever species that is that has two at a time, that will be our people.
Yes,
We
they
will be the ones that make first contact. They will find us first.
Don't worry, my kid's working on how to connect with them, so we'll get there.
Perfect. Well, Lily, thank you so much for playing with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And for all of you that are listening, know that we are literally just a DM away. If you need anything from me or anybody at Twiniversity, you slip into any one of our DMs on any social platform. We're just at Twiniversity everywhere. We have no creativity. Apparently, I was a branding genius for making a word that didn't exist because I could secure it on every platform, which is kind of fun. But anything. And then also remember, you could email us at community@twiniversity.com. We will be here for you now and through eternity. We got you. And so please like and subscribe, all that crap that my kids would tell you that I should say, but I don't say because it's up to you anyway. Don't want to force you to do anything. You have enough to do, but feel free. If you had a minute, like and subscribe. And if you need anything, you know where to find us. And until next time, guys, see you later, alligators, and thanks for listening.